steps for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
We can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.
Yo, what's up? My name is Rashad Milligan. If you are new to the channel, this is the road to 5K subs. All right, we got some things, man. We got some things to talk about. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so the young scooter update, before I even get to sharing it, because I pulled it up, but I was like, I should at least introduce it. What's going on lately? So what happened today? Young Thug tweeted. Hold on, I screenshotted it actually. Young Thug tweeted. What he tweet? Give me a second here. I'll show it to the camera too. Young Thug tweeted, autopsy came back, Street got shot. Street is, of course, Young Scooter's nickname. And so then after that, Future retweeted what Young Thug said hours later. Young Thug eventually deleted the tweet. So here it is. Here's the tweet. Let me see. There it is right here. Autopsy came back, Street got shot. I can hear you loud and clear, my brother Street. We got you, kid. So those tweets were deleted. I screenshotted it really just to show my friends that Future retweeted it, because we couldn't believe that Young Thug tweeted that. Obviously with situation and stuff, but it was deleted. So anyways, that's what happened. Shortly after that, APD came out with another statement doubling down on what they were saying earlier of just like, no, despite whatever you hear on social media, that's not what happened. What happened was he was a part of it was just an unfortunate event. Here we go. I'm about to share my screen for this. They said it was just an unfortunate event. Okay, here we go. On April 1st, 2020. This is the one we're about to get into. Here we go. The Atlanta Police Department is aware of inaccurate comments on social media posts regarding the death of Kenneth Bailey. While we understand that many people are saddened by his passing, it is important to recognize Atlanta Police officers neither discharged their firearms or used any force against Mr. Bailey. The Fulton County Medical Examiner Office examined the following press report regarding their findings. And here we go. Medical examiner's press release for report for Kenneth Bailey. This is crazy because this only has 1 retweet and 3 likes. I've seen people just repost the screenshot from the Atlanta Police Department and get thousands of It's crazy how that works. But Kenneth Bailey, 29, black male, date of birth and date of death. The Office of the Fulton County Medical Examiner performed an autopsy on Kenneth Bailey on Saturday, March 29, 2025. Cause of death, penetrating injury of the right thigh, manner of death, accident. Comment, Mr. Bailey sustained a penetrating injury on his right thigh that created marked blood loss. This injury was not a gunshot wound. Mr. Bailey injured himself on organic wooden fencing material and or woody debris after vaulting at least 1 fence. So they're sticking with the jumping the fence thing, and that's what they're sticking to. And they double down on it with Young Thug's tweet and Future's retweet. So there it is. So with that being said, the police, in terms of the 911 call, we listened to that yesterday on the channel. If you haven't watched that video, I'll put it at the end of this video as a related video. You can go back and listen to that. The 911 call was weird because it was just like what she was reporting was just off, and she like slipped up and said in this house. And then also she said it was a woman victim that was bloody and being drugged back into the house, and they were beating on her to the point where she wasn't looking like she was going to make it much longer if the police didn't hurry and rush there. However, the police themselves did a immediate press conference, and in the press conference they mentioned nothing about the woman's condition. Oh, she's in Grady, she's in stable condition, she's in critical condition. There was no type of update, which makes you think like, why are you just talking about Young Scooter here? You know what I'm saying? It was just stuff like that I was like, there's some holes in this. It doesn't make sense. So I was still kind of confused with the 911 call coming out. people suspected that it might have been a false call and everything like that. And if it's a false call, to get somebody to you know, what, how you say, what's the word, to raid somebody, there it is, to raid somebody, that can cause up in the state of Georgia, thanks to a law that was passed yesterday, up to 5 years in prison. So especially with a situation like this, and people were asking, well, why was he running from the cops? Like I said, with Young Scooter's past, what he was doing before, rap popped off, and rapping about what he used to do, which was his main thing, was about selling drugs and street life and hustling, anyway, legally or illegally. With that type of history and that type of background, more than likely, this man probably served some. I'm assuming here. I'm assuming he served some time, and he might have been a convicted felon. If you a convicted felon, you can't have no guns. You can't have no marijuana, no, you know what I'm saying, on you, with the particular case by case stipulations when you're released. If he had any of that in the house that didn't even belong to him, I would run too. It's like, you know what I'm saying? I would run too. You ain't gonna get me, lock me up in prison 15 years just because I had a gun in my house, and it wasn't even my gun. It was my roommate gun, and nah, bro. Because of something I did in 2009. No, bro, I'm not going like that. Not on my birthday. It was his birthday. But yeah, so there's that. Let me see. I'll look it up just to make sure, so I'm not just spewing things of that sort, things that aren't true. Let me see. You say you a dog boy, you ain't no life. I do what I want. You do what you can. Let me see. Young Scooter. Yeah. Here's some stuff right here, man. Okay. 2006. So there it is. Here's the mugshot right here that we got of Young Scooter from 2006. So status release 27. Dang, man. But yeah, what else? And here's another one. It's just the thing right here, was Young Scooter involved in this? You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of stuff that bro was probably just, just based off of what he was rapping. And you could tell with the kind of the conviction and the details he was rapping, he wasn't just rapping no made up stuff. It was like stuff that he probably, had partaken in his previous life and things of that sort. So I say all that to say that's why he was running. People are like, why was he running? That's why he was running. With that being said, let's get into it, bro. Let's get into it. Anyway,
I never had.
well, they couldn't find a woman, right? Because she called from a link that was like a unanimous 911 call app or something like that, right? So this girl goes on Clubhouse when they say we're looking for the person who made the 911 call. And if you get caught and you make a false call to raid, it comes up to 5 years in prison. So after she hears all this being reported, she decides to go on Instagram Live. She decides to go on Clubhouse. Huh? What they say in New York? Are you dumb? Are you stupid? Anyways, this is 5.5 minutes. So I'm gonna listen to it.
Had any intentions that man was there. I never knew that man was there. I had no idea of that man's whereabouts. I'm speaking today to clear my name that I had no intentions to set anybody up. I never set anybody up. I was threatened by an individual that's connected to the source. And this individual has done things physically to me in the past. When he threatened me, I didn't know what to do, but what I did. I'm not looking for clout.
Well, yeah, I need that 5 bands is crazy.
I don't care about what anybody else think about me. I just want
And you toast. You gotta love social media, bro. Because to go on live and to see the reaction of these like kind of historic events is so crazy to me, bro.
the truth to be out that I did not set that man up. I had no idea that he was there. I was the victim.
How you was the victim and you ain't know who was in the house and you called the police talking about who was in the house, huh? The victim here is no longer with us. That's the victim.
I was the victim. I am the victim. And that's why I called. That's why I called. So I just came on here to just give y'all a little brief, just to say.
Why? No, you don't have to come on here and give us a little brief. You don't.
I would too. I don't care. I don't care what nobody think. Oh, I really don't care. I really just want him to rest in peace because I never set him up. I didn't set him up. I didn't know he was going to be there. It was never about him. I was the victim. I was the victim. I was physically abused multiple times by this individual on several occasions.
You say I don't know who was there, but I know this dude that was there and he beat me several times. That don't even make sense, man. What?
So
They tag
at the end of the
APD.
day, I did what I thought was the best thing for me to do to protect myself. I don't want to talk to y'all. I don't care. I don't care to get clout. Like I said, the point of this live was to say my truth,
Yo, you go.
that I never set him up. Yes, I was abused that day. I was abused that day. I was the person.
She said, I don't want to talk to y'all. Before responding to the comments. How you the victim? How you abused that day? How the girl beaten and bloody and got a thing so big on her face that she can't even see and you talking clearly to the police for 6 minutes. A 6-7 minute 911 call. Speaking to you. Oh yes, the daughter, she had gray jeans, black jacket. The female was 5'3", 130. How you know all these details, man?
Person that was abused that day. And this is what I'm trying to say. This person has physically abused me multiple times. Multiple times, this person has physically abused me. I was there.
This is crazy. Atlanta police. When you made the call, you didn't say you was the person abused, though. You said it was another girl. So why you never called?
At the end of the day, I was abused by this individual on several occasions, and this person threatened me again. How am I incriminating myself? I'm not in like this. How is this incriminating? I was abused. How is this incriminating?
Girl, Instagram.
So that's the purpose of me coming here to give this live, to just give my piece that I never set anybody up. I had no intentions that he was going to be there. It was never about him. I was physically abused by an individual that was connected to him multiple times. Multiple times.
Because we listen and judge real hard is crazy. Feds already watching.
So I'm going to end the live.
She read that comment that said Feds already watching.
I said what I had to say. Y'all can continue to paint the narrative that y'all want to paint. This is the truth. If y'all want to take it, leave it. However, this is the truth. This is the A. There's a action, there's a reaction for every action. This is part A. You guys didn't have part A. You guys only had part B. And the narrative, it looks like I was trying to set this man up because you guys don't have part B. I'm giving you part B. I'm giving you what led up to the call. I was physically abused, so I called to protect myself. That's the issue. That's part A.
So they said, how's the what's the girl's condition right now? And you said, I don't know. She's in the house. Didn't you hear me? I'm just a neighborhood watch. So you wasn't the neighborhood watch. You was the girl that was getting beaten so bad to the point where you was about to bleed out your head. Speaking as clearly as you was to the police for 7 minutes.
I never had any intentions to get anybody hurt. I was the one that was getting hurt. And I came here to say my truth. That's it. That's all. I don't want no clout. I don't want anything. All these troll pages. Y'all don't know me. None of y'all know me at all. At the end of the day, I'm a woman. And I was physically abused multiple times.
I thought you was with the neighborhood watch is crazy. Police on the way, boo. Atlanta police get her boys. Oh my goodness. Ay, ay, ay. But the craziest part is that you went to Instagram to prove to like your followers. Like you didn't just turn yourself in. You was like, I gotta go to Instagram for this. Like my followers must know the truth. Man, what? What is up there, man? What is up there, bro? Jeez Louise. All right. Jeez Louise. Long live Scooter, bro. Rest in peace. We still do not have the details. This is still the most unclear and confusing mystery, you know what I'm saying, case that we done probably had in a little minute. I ain't gonna lie to you, but this is insane, dude. That's really insane. We still don't know what happened. Like we get more and more information, and I still don't know what happened. Some people, I was talking to my boys about this. They said we probably will never find out what really happened. I don't think we will. I don't think we'll ever find out what really happened, bro. But this is insane, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is insane. She went on Instagram Live to tell her followers the truth. Side B. Y'all only had side A. I'm giving y'all side B. I was abused multiple times. I'm a woman. That don't even line up with what you said in the 911 call. So your story already isn't consistent. You cooked yourself before you even gave yourself a chance to talk to some lawyers, get some smart verbiage together, listen to the 911 calls and put it together in a smart way. Because you know the case is gonna be. I know you seen Young Thug case on Law and Order Network YouTube channel every day, the whole trial. I know you seen Young Dolph trial on Law and Order Network on the YouTube channel, and I know you seen Lil Baby affiliates and everything like that. Alleged Lil Baby affiliates. I have to cover myself because ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying, Lil Baby. And pray God, pray for Lil Baby's freedom, everything like that. He a good man. He get back to the community west side of Atlanta. But yeah, man, you know, all that stuff, you know, is going to be on YouTube every day. The trial is going to be on YouTube. People can clip and get your side, the truth, everything that you want to be of your innocence and stuff like that from that trial that's going to be airing on YouTube every day. You don't have to try to prove it to yourself immediately on some Instagram live to your 100,000 followers or how many followers. Like that didn't even make sense. Like, are we doing the math? Are we doing the math? And they said this girl's on baddies. like dog, like Zeus Network, what are we doing? Baddies, what are we doing? Natalie Lynn, what are we doing? King Botch, what are we doing, bro? What's going on? Okay, all right, that's the first thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to the next thing. We got media personalities beefing, sharing some words. So apparently on the Joe Budden podcast, they were discussing Elliott Wilson and B Dot while they stopped working together. He said B Dot is hiding behind those lists and Elliott is hiding behind DJ Head. So these guys, B Dot and Elliott Wilson, they were kind of like known for like a high, profile type of podcast with Rap Radar. And Rap Radar, it used to be exclusively just on what was it, Title, on Jay-Z joint Title. And so like it was very exclusive, but they would get the biggest people. Like they would get Will Smith before he was doing interviews like he is now. They would get Jay-Z, obviously. The big guys, kind of had like a exclusivity feel to it. Like this is a high level kind of respected podcast above like really, because at the time Joe Budden, he didn't have no guests on. It was just him, Rory Mal, and Parks, and they just all just making kind of jokes, really joking about what's going on. It's not no serious. A little more serious was like B Dot and Elliott, because they both had years and decades of experience within journalism, and the conversations were like kind of strictly about the music and the direct ties and inspiration to the music of the lyrical content. And that's kind of like how Rap Radar was always looked at. So it went away, and B Dot said that the only reason was because they couldn't find a platform they could fund it the way they needed it to be funded. And so Elliott, in the meantime, he's sitting on the sidelines and he's watching the streamers like Kai Cenat and eventually Playboy Max, guys like that get all the big celebrities like a Nicki Minaj and stuff like that. And he's like, well, I'm the journalist. Like, why can't I get y'all? Drake, messing, calling Speed, calling Aiden, calling Kai. And, he like, Drake gonna go do a stream with Aiden Ross, but he can't do an interview with me, or he can't do an interview with someone who's a journalist. And he just saw the shift in media, which I think we all saw, especially as a media member. I could say I saw the shift myself. But me is just like kind of something, I guess, I just kind of kept to myself. And, I always had the mentality of, shoot, well, if the game is ever evolving and ever changing, you just got to evolve and change with it. I feel like, if you're good enough, if you work hard enough and everything like that, like you're going to figure it out. Even if I can't get a Nicki Minaj sit down or a Childish Gambino, like my dream, I'll put it out in the air, bro. I'll put it out in the air. My dream extensive sit down is with Donald Glover, bro. Childish Gambino, dude. If I could get a sit down with him, talk to him 20 minutes to an hour, bro, like that's my bucket list moment. You know what I'm saying? For sure. And I met Donald very briefly when I was like 21 on the set of Atlanta. I was on Atlanta season 1. And that was cool, saying what's up to him and everything. But like I always, like that's my biggest inspiration. And I know it's getting mushy, and so I won't get too much into it. But like I've asked so many times for interviews with him, like dating back to when I was in school, bro. Like I asked his people, interviews, emails and stuff like that. Email, follow up. He's not doing any, sorry. I asked on his last tour when I was at my old job, when I was working down the street, sorry, we're going to have to pass. And then he did the interview with AJC and my homegirl. Shout out to my homegirl. Hold on, let me shout her out. Let me make sure I get her right. Hold on, give me a second here. Let me make sure I get her right. Where's she at? I'll look up an artist because I know she follow all the artists in the city. But let me see. Let me shout her out. Deasia Page. Shout out to Deasia Page for sure. But Deasia Page, she did the interview with him over Zoom ahead of his, return to his hometown and stuff like that for a feature with the hometown paper. And I don't know, man, like I just always wanted my interview with him. So I'm gonna keep working, bro. Keep working, and hopefully the paths align, and I'll work the platform up to where it needs to be, to where he's a fan of me as well, and he'll sit down and do it. So yeah, I say all that to say, yeah, man, like I feel it. I understand the frustration of not being able to sit down with the biggest artists after, like, naturally and historically the biggest artists sit down with the journalists with the biggest platforms. You know, you have the background of XXL and Rap Radar and all these places, and it doesn't matter all the work and the way that you built your name up over decades. If Kai Cenat is going to get 100,000 viewers in real time, and then at least 4 million viewers on YouTube with the replays and the clip channels and everything like that, promoting the same thing. So, and you're having fun with Kai. He's not asking you, invasive questions. He's not asking you anything that's going to make you really, think too much. And that's not a diss to Kai. It's just like, it's just the nature of streaming. It's like you go there to have fun, and, you get tired of the routine of interviews and sitting down. And someone like an Offset, right, is a great example. Offset, they're going to ask him about losing his cousin. They're going to ask him about the split up of Migos. They're going to ask him about Quavo, all the stuff again. They're going to ask him about Cardi B and they whole drama now, right? Like, that's what they're going to ask about. Versus, I go over to Kai's house. We play 2K. We dance to the song. We sleep over. And then we just have a good time. We just do a bunch of random activities throughout the night. In the morning, I change my clothes, or I grab my sleeping bag and I head back home. Shoot, I'd rather have fun and do a sleepover like I'm a kid again for a day, So yeah, I say all that to say, yeah, I get it. I get the frustration from Elliot, but that frustration he kind of turned into, and they spell Elliot's name wrong too. They spelled it with one T here. It's Elliot with two T's. But he turned that into the show that he has now. What is it called? The Conversation on Uprocks, because he's like the editor in chief at Uprocks now and stuff. What's the Elliot Wilson show? He also has the Elliot Wilson Experience. But what's the name of the show that he has with Jeremy Heck? The Bigger Picture. It's called The Bigger Picture. So, you know what I'm saying? So he's got The Bigger Picture with Jeremy Heck and DJ Head. They've been doing that for a little while. And they have their moments, you know what I'm saying, where they get attention for their takes and stuff like that. And it just is what it is. And B Dot, his like biggest thing, the way he makes waves is his list, reacting to lists and writing lists and posting them himself. So like the greatest Nas albums, the greatest New York albums, Jay-Z's albums ranked in order, all that stuff. And yeah, so with that being said, let me see what Joe said in these 94 seconds.
Give us the tea of what happened between you and Elliot. Let's get to the bottom of some things.
The what?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Wait, but that's kind of like, is that one verse?
Oh, that's true.
No, yeah,
That's what makes it tough.
Yeah,
It's a lot of the.
Yeah.
But it went from 16
they
together.
went back,
Yeah.
It's a lot back
Ain't
and
a lot of
forth.
niggas that can say they made Big rewrite a verse.
They made who?
Big.
Meth killed that
Meth,
shit.
Meth made Big
Meth
rewrite the
killed
verse.
Busy Bone too.
Wow.
Not a lot
All
of
comes
people
back to Bone
got
Thugs.
that.
All right, in the future, we'll unpack what happened with B Dot and Elliot. We will get to the bottom of it. Something happened. He trying to hide behind these lists, and Elliot trying to hide behind DJ Head and fucking Jeremy. We got to find out.
He said his name, Jeremy. If you guys don't know Jeremy, the last time he mentioned the show and brought up Jeremy, he said that white boy, and Jeremy was like, "Dang, I can't get my name called." And now he's saying your name, Jeremy. Congratulations. Jeremy's a good dude. He's like my age. He's like probably a little older, but yeah, he's good. Like Jeremy Heck, I'll say, like, I was at the on a carpet with him, and he prepared to where he had one question for every single person on the call sheet. I don't know how he did it, because you get the call sheet when you show up. So I guess he just looked up and the emails of who was supposed to be there, just came up with a question for everybody. So he just asked quick questions, and a lot of the stuff was just funny. Like, he has a good sense of humor, but he's so knowledgeable and smart, has a good relationship with some of the artists, a lot of the artists and stuff. Yeah, he's just a good dude. So shout out to Jeremy Heck.
Joe not letting you ain't letting it go.
Oh no, these niggas the new Jesus and Mero, niggas. I'm on this. I'm on this one. Just tell me. If you tell me, I'll leave it alone. If you just shoot me a text when you see this, I know Elliot at least is a Patroni. If you shoot me a text when you see this, like, yo,
This
it
is
was a little hectic on one night with us. And just, I'm gonna say, all right, that's peace. I understand. Chilling. All podcasters got to do is reach out. It's peace. Nor hear me say, yo, I'm in town tomorrow, 3 Mile Run, 8 a.m. Let's do it. Nigga, no.
They did it. Him and Wallow and all that.
Good for them.
Go run, man.
And nigga, no. And if I do run, I'm not running with you niggas.
Crazy.
I'm gonna run by myself. I got to be part of a running crew.
That's crazy.
It's like gangs.
It's dope.
There's
All right.
no difference, really.
So B-Dot, he quote tweeted and said, "You rang at Joe Budden." Let me see.
This guy is foolish.
Yo, B-Dot.
Did he say anything? Let me see. Nah, he ain't say nothing. Elliot, by the way, he like kind of helped spark the 15-year or how many years it's been, 12-year beef between Drake and Kendrick. Because he's the one that sat down with Drake at the panel at like a random conference or convention in front of an audience, or it might have been just a live podcast, and asked him how he felt about the Kendrick verse. And he said, well, I've been asked about it this entire media rollout thing for Nothing Was the Same. And, you know, that's what he wanted. He wanted a moment, but it's just a moment. He says, has anybody listened to that song now? Or can anybody name any other lines from that verse? And he said, exactly. It's not going to last. It's not going to stand the test of time. It's just a gimmick. And after that, boy, Kendrick went on BET ever since I put a sensitive rapper in his pajama clothes. Ha ha. Jokes on you. High five. I'm bulletproof. You shout out to Schoolboy Q. Shout out to SZA. Shout out to Absolutely. Shout out to Isaiah Rashad. Shout out to Top Dog Entertainment. But yeah, so shout out to Elliot Wilson. Anyways, here we go. There's an argument against streamers. Big Loon. He uploaded this. Shout out to Big Loon. He's been making content for a little while. And he said it's going to come across as hate, but it's not. And he said at DDG at Playboy Max. My thing with it was Playboy Max. I mean, DDG's an actual rapper. So it's like, and he's been rapping with major artists. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it's fair to rope DDG in these conversations. I feel like he should have a little more respect, you know, playing Rolling Loud and having a successful music career, multi-platinum artist, multi-certifications, gold, all that stuff. Like, it's nothing to sneeze at. So yeah.
To the stream, what happens for you for your business? What do you leave in the stream with? All right, let's look at Playboy Max. He's leaving the stream with what? A song, a cosign, culture, equity. What do you leave in the stream with? Nothing. Not even clips that are gonna withstand the next week or so. It's a bunch of funny shit. I've watched the record labels try to maneuver and move rap niggas.
Oh, D-Lou, by the way, has made an entire career off of the Playboy Max stream. By the way, shout out to D-Lou. He's been doing his artistry thing for a little minute now. It's crazy because we were talking about the method to getting on, and I said, I feel like the internet, you skip steps. And he said, how so? I'm talking to Bass Swag. Bass Swag is the main interview. And I said, back in the day, not even back in the day, but say 2013, you got to go through local shows, local open mics, local venues and stuff like that, where you're paying to perform, and you put out music, and you put out music on SoundCloud. Say you get 200 plays, then you get 1,000 plays, and you get 2,000 plays. Then you get a song to get 20,000 plays, and now you got a little buzz in the city. And then you get a song with 50,000 plays, and now you do shows in the city, right? Doing shows at clubs and this and that. Then you get a song with 100,000 plays. Now you really lit. Now you're getting calls from Connecticut and the surrounding states and the Northeast area to come and perform at day clubs and stuff like that. Your song that's got 100,000 plays. And, you know, now you get your first music video on World Star. Now you got a World Star video. Now, you know what I'm saying? You're working your way up. So when you blow up and you have your big moment on a national worldwide stage, okay, I've been working on my craft. I know how to perform. I know how to act. I know how difficult it is to make rap. When you come out with your first song and your first song becomes a hit and you automatically got to go on a Rolling Loud stage or a stage with 3,000, 5,000 people, like that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Like I feel like you thrown into failure, a position to fail. So I brought this point up to Bass Swag. And then D. Lou, he said, bro, you trying to put a number on it. There is no number. There is no formula to do this. Like, it's just art. And I said, yeah, but you agree with what I said. And he was like, oh, maybe. Da, 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 da. And so we all talked about that. And yeah, that was D. Lou and my brief interaction with him on TV, on camera. But like, so D. Lou, a couple months later, goes on the Playboy Max stream with, you know, the entourage for Cash and Bass Swag. And the dude becomes a sensation. Now he a part of Playboy Max's streams and he's on Zoe Spencer, everything like that. Like that all happened from just you know what I'm saying, just being around at the right time. And D-Lou's a talented dude. Like he's a good artist. He got a song with Bass Swag that I was like, yo, he sound good on that. I like the joint. That was crazy on but like I like the song. He did a good job on the song.
Away from podcasts because information was coming out of podcasts. Was sitting down and figuring out deals. Kanye West will sit down and change the game. Go to Breakfast Club. Jay-Z had 2 or 3 interviews and literally changed the trajectory of young men's thinking. The rappers nowadays sitting with streamers and putting their hand in a bag, trying to see what you think that is. I think that's a rat. It might be a rat in there. You niggas playing. Playing, P.
Yo.
You niggas playing. You niggas ain't building no real. You see what I'm saying? You niggas on the same road Jay-Z was on. Homie, say, homie, this the same road Master P was on. James Lindsay was on. QCP was on. Coach K was on.
James Lindsay.
Diddy was on. 50 was on. Billionaires come up off this road, nigga.
Shout out Master P.
Y'all gonna sit around playing video games?
I got trucks on the freeway, Playboy. Shout out Master P. I know. Shout out James Lindsay as well. I said it during the video, but you know, during the video, you can't really hear me over the audio.
And bullshitting around. It's a time for that, and it's a culture for that. And I salute that because I play video games. And those of you that's in my Discord know this. But I'm telling you, man, when you are on the court and you in a game of this magnitude, you got to do everything in your ability to continue to put points on the board and also plan for the next game. See, a lot of y'all niggas really is so confused. You got to plan for the next quarter, brother. Like you had a good first quarter. Like you had a good first quarter of your career. You know, nigga be doing this 20 years, 25 years. Like you had a great first quarter. You got to plan on the set. What are you doing in your second quarter of your career? Still rapping? Still going to get with them same producer nigga and still rapping about the same? Listen, bro, you got to map this shit out. And you can't run around chasing children as, you know, streamers, kids, respectfully to them. And this ain't got nothing to do with me shunning them, homie. We building infrastructure.
DDG is 27 with multi-platinum records. Like, so to throw DDG name in this is crazy.
Structure. We're in the wild, wild west of tech. You nigga gotta help
He is a father.
build businesses and brands, period. And if a nigga don't like that, he don't respect it, he don't gotta respect it. Let's get back to the big U thing. Cause I'm all over the place giving major game today.
Also, I gotta say, most of the people that been on stream with DDG and Playboy Max, if I have an interview, my man's has interviewed or my homegirls interviewed them. Like, let's go down the list. Hold on. Let me just go to shoot, even Castanet, if we being for real. I interviewed Lil Baby too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying all this to say it's not like these people are just shunning journalists altogether. Now I haven't interviewed Nicki Minaj, but I haven't interviewed Offset, but I have done stuff of like Offset type stuff. I have interviewed Quavo. I one of the Migos, and I was supposed to interview all the Migos, bro. In 2017, this is a whole nother story. 2017, I'm a senior in college. It's spring break at Georgia State. And the back half of spring break, my senior year, I'm at A&T. I'm in Greensboro, North Carolina at A&T for NABJ short course at A&T on A&T's campus. And I was up there for the weekend. And like one of the days, it was like a random Wednesday. So I said weekend, but it was like a Wednesday, right? That Wednesday, bro, was Migos just announced a pop-up show at the Hawks game, and it was against the Grizzlies, bro. And Migos at the time, 2017, was the hottest thing in the world. This is fresh. It was that January where Gambino won Atlanta Golden Globes, and he brought up the whole staff at the Golden Globes stage, and he said, "Shout out to Atlanta for just being so black, and shout out to Migos for making Bad and Bougie. It's like the greatest song of all time." Like ever since he said that, boy, Migos went to another level. So they at the peak of Migos, 2017, bro. 2017, that was January where he did the speech. In March, just 2 months later, Bad and Bougie still the biggest record in the world. They decided to do a pop-up at the Hawks game, bro. And they announced it Monday night, I think maybe even Tuesday night. And when they announced it, my boy Jelani hits me up. Jelani now working with TNT Sports, Turner Sports, as a publicist. And this man said, "Rashad, you want to come interview Migos?" He asked me, and he called me up and asked me in advance to try to get my name on the list because earlier that season, Lil Yachty performed. Lil Yachty performed at the game, and I was supposed to get an interview on him. They said, "You want to interview with Yachty?" I said, "Yeah." They said, "Oh, Yachty, I'm sorry, Yachty. He don't feel like it." I said, "Goshly." And the Yachty interview to me was a big deal because we from the same county. So it's like we got a lot of mutual friends. I know like the local people that he was still collaborating with when he got on. I'm like, bro, I interview like some of these people in Cobb that, you got music with and you do shows with and and we got a lot of the same mutual friends. It makes sense for us to do this interview. And you kind of the biggest out of Cobb right now. Man, I ran into bro at a later game. I said, "Bro, I've been trying to get an interview with you all year, bro. I'm from Cobb, this and that." I said his real name is crazy. And he was just like, "Oh, okay. Right now?" I said, "No, right now. We could do it later." We never did the interview, obviously. It's not on the channel. So I say all that to say that. But most other people on Kai stream, on Platboy Max stream, and DDG stream, they're all people like I've interviewed before as well. I haven't interviewed Chris Brown. Like the people from the Mafia Don, I feel like that's different. In LA, Mafia Don, that's different. But the people who came to his house in Atlanta, like a lot of those people I've interviewed, or if I haven't interviewed my homegirl has interviewed them as well. So I say all that to say artists just aren't straight up ignoring journalists. I do think, instead of like long sit downs, 20-minute sit downs and stuff like that, the streamers are more like kind of likely to get that. But it's a game, bro. You got to keep up with the game. Like if they're doing that, okay, what am I going to do to make my platform attractive enough to get the people to come back? Or how am I going to keep myself lit enough to where I don't need guests and I don't need the artists to come? That's how I think. You know what I'm saying? Because I love to tell the story of others, but it's like, shoot, if they're going to shut me out, how can I still tell the story and do my job? So that's it with that situation of media personalities beefing. Now I want to talk about the king of the portal, bro. This is the king of the portal right here, man. Hold on, let me pull this up. We got my man, Michi Johnson. He is committed to South Carolina, but look at this though. This joker started at Ohio State, transferred to South Carolina, transferred back to Ohio State, and now this joker done transferred back. He's 22. He's 22. And he tweeted about it too. What'd he say? So yeah, he started his career. Hold on, let me show this to the camera. Hold on, let me stop sharing my screen. So he started his career. Hold on, let me see. There we go. He started his career 2020, 2021 at Ohio State. He played 2 years at Ohio State. Transferred, played 2 years at South Carolina, played one more year at Ohio State as a senior. And now he's going back to South Carolina for a graduate year. Meechie Johnson Jr. transferring back to South Carolina after 1 year at Ohio State. He said, LOL, I get it. Going back to two same schools twice. This ain't what he put the face palm emoji. This ain't what I imagined or I thought my career would be like, but serve a perfect, merciful, and graceful God, and I know this is his journey. Let me read the full thing. See if I can find it and put it on the big screen. Because this is different for sure. This is different for sure, man. I ain't gonna hold you. Here it is. I found it. This is different for sure. LOL, I get it. Going back to the same schools twice. Facepalm. How did I do this? So did I do that again? I did go to that school before. Yep, you're right. Going back to the same schools twice. This isn't what I imagined or my career would be like, but I serve a perfect and merciful, graceful God. God said, don't put me in it. And I know this is his journey for me. Unheard of. Crazy. It's crazy times we live in, bro. But hey, it just is what it is. Sometimes you just got to go with the flow, bro. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just got to go to one place and to leave one place to go back to another place, to go back to another place, to leave one place, to go back to another place, to get to the destination that God has for you. I don't know who needs to hear this right now, but sometimes you need to go to one place, to leave that place, to go back to that place, to leave that place, to go back to your place, to find the calling and the message that God has for you. So that's all I say, man. Salute to the portal king, to the transfer portal king, Meechie Johnson. You are now solidified in the transfer portal Hall of Fame. First team, all transfer for sure. Meechie Johnson, we salute you, brother. Some people might call you indecisive. Some people might say, brother, it's time to get a real job. But guess what? In the age of NIL, this is your real job, my brother. And I know that's right. Hold on. This is on 3. Let's see if he got his NIL evaluation. We're going to pocket watch a little bit tonight. If that's okay with you. We're going to pocket watch a little bit. All right, value. Okay, here we go. So on 3, for sure, got it. Right here. NIL value, undisclosed. But they said Stanley, the Foundation, the Gold Shop, Keurig, Skims. I know Skims. Rich Crackers. Hold on. Low Country Boil, Nerf, Patrol Grooming, Garnett Trust, and Cameo. Come on now. What the money talking about? What the money talking about? Johnson received NIL money. The Ohio State basketball team is now rid of their worst NIL decision. Dang. The worst decision they made on NIL last year is no longer part of the roster, as Meechie Johnson has now entered the transfer portal. Ooh. Scarlet and Game. What a scathing article. What Kanye say? How dare you leave? The Ohio State basketball program made some bad decisions regarding the transfer portal last season. They brought in players who were supposed to make a difference this year. They brought in 5 players from the portal, and only one of them ended up helping the team. Ohio State's biggest mistake, was the transfer portal, was bringing in Meechie Johnson. Johnson was previously with the Buckeyes to start out his career. His first 2 years in college were with the Buckeyes. He then transferred to South Carolina for the next 2 years. The Ohio State Buckeyes only got 10 games out of Johnson. He left the program of what now we said was mental health issues. He stopped playing just 1 game short of playing a third of the season. which is usually grounds for him getting another season of eligibility. Now he's in it. Oh, so he stopped playing to play another year. That's shiesty. We were saying God, merciful God, but you just so happened to play the amount of games that you needed to get one more season. I'm noticing. I understand it now. Shout out to Lethal Shooter. Ohio State basketball player Michi Johnson enters transfer portal. Again, for the second time in his career, Johnson has decided to enter the transfer portal to lead the Buckeyes. Johnson received NIL money from Ohio State to only play 10 games, yikes, and shoot just 35.6% from the field. Ryan, what are you writing? Gosh, it burned my hand. Piping hot. It is by far the worst decision, that they have made this offseason. Johnson is hoping to get another year of eligibility. It won't be with the Buckeyes, which is just fine with them. They played most of the season without him anyway. Yikes. Ohio State will have Junie Mobley back into help in the lineup and Tayson Chapman, which is back from his back injury. Who should be back from injury? There we go. Jake Diebler clearly needs to be better at identifying talent in the portal. He can't make the same mistakes that he did this past offseason. If he doesn't, the Buckeyes might just miss the NCAA tournament for a fourth straight time. I was talking about this to a coworker today. We had Taco Tuesday. Shout out to Taco Tuesday. And I was saying, do you realize, like, for sports fans, how they've kind of just capitalism, how it's kind of riled all of us up? Like, we work, right, in a capitalistic society. We punch the clock and we work to climb the ladder to make more money. So we want to make as much money as we can. And if we're sports fans, more than likely, like, one of our goals nowadays, you see Trae Young just became the assistant general manager at Oklahoma and then donated $1 million to, I guess, kind of solidify the deal and get his position as assistant GM at Oklahoma. It's like, your dream now is, if I get rich, I want to get rich so I can help my college get lit. Like, that's crazy, bro. It's like, I want Georgia State to be good. If I become a multimillionaire, I'm going to give 6 figures to Georgia State NIL specifically so they can recruit some better basketball players and some better football players, and we can compete at Georgia State because I want to produce a winner. It's a crazy cycle. It's like, I paid thousands of dollars to go to Georgia State, graduate from Georgia State. I eventually worked my way up. And the motivation is just to give it back to Georgia State so Georgia State can have a good basketball team. Am I serious right now? But yeah, that's what everybody else is doing. That's what Michigan did when they got Bryce Underwood and scooped him up from LSU. They had the Barstool guy, Dave Portnoy, call up Larry Ellison's wife and you know what I'm saying, husband, excuse me. Larry Ellison's wife is a Michigan fan and a Michigan grad. And her husband's a billionaire and one of the richest people on earth. And he scooped up the #1 quarterback in the country. Like, that's just the name of the game now. Like, it's so crazy, bro. Like, we're working hard to become multimillionaires and billionaires so we can make our favorite college athletic programs become dynasties so we can compete with other schools. At Jackson State in the SWAC championship, they ran out of gas. And you know what they said to go off? They said, man, we need some more depth. We need some more dogs like Deshaun Ruffin. And the only way to do that is to donate now to the NIL initiative. Like, Jackson State football won the championship, the HBCU national championship last year at the Celebration Bowl. Shout out to TC Taylor and the boys. The first thing that Ashley Robinson did on his media tour in Jackson is said, I need all my Jackson State faithful to give $50 to the NIL collect. Like, it's like, bro, we're in the Matrix for real. Like, this is insane, bro. Like, it used to be, you know, donate for our facilities so we can have better facilities and compete for recruiting and stuff like that. Not only do they want you to donate to the facilities and donate to the program to build better facilities, they want you to just donate to the pot so they can give kids 6 figures and $1 million just so they would go to their program and play. Like, if Olivia Miles leaves Notre Dame, a team that was like a national contender next to Hannah Hidalgo, just to go to some random kind of middle of the pack team because they offered her $3 million to do so. That's the name of the game now. You snooze, you lose. And it's life. I think it's a great kind of indication of how it works in America and in the capitalistic society. Like, if you got the money, bro, hey, you got the leg up in life. Congratulations to you, my brother. You got the more money. The money and the power go to the power. The power goes to the people with the money. Just is what it is. It's life. So shoot, hey, if that's the matrix, if that's the trap, I'm in the trap too. I want to get this money up. So make sure you subscribe to the Road 5K subs so I could get Georgia State back in the tournament. What are we talking about? So I could get Georgia State back in the tournament, and I could get Georgia State football in a college football playoff. They expanded to 12 games. They got to have a group of 5 team in there. Why not have Georgia State? Subscribe right now and support the channel. You know what I'm saying? You don't even have to. I don't have no Patreon. I could really tax. Oh, Patreon. This a members only video. And I don't want to say it in too sarcastic of a tone because one day down the line I might, you know what I'm saying? But as of right now, y'all make sure y'all subscribe for free and just watch the videos and click on the ads when the ads pop up and the ad breaks and things of that sort. Apparently, Cory Booker spoke for 20 hours today. It's insane. And he said, I may be a little tired and a little hoarse, but as I said again and again and again on the Senate floor, this is a moment where we cannot afford to be silent, when we must speak up. What's most clear to me tonight is that this is just the beginning, that Americans across this country, no matter the title or party, are ready to be heard. I believe that history will show that we rose to meet this moment. It will show you we did not let this chaos and division go unanswered. It will show that when our president chose to spread lies and sow fear, we chose to come together, to work together, and rise together. See, this is a thing, right? So I've done a couple videos kind of critiquing the ways of Jasmine Crockett. And the people have come and attacked me and everything like that in the comment section. And one person said, well, those jokes and the things that you are, the memes and everything that she's reenacting is what gets her the attention to do her job and to do this and that. I haven't seen one antic from Cory Booker. Every time Cory Booker goes viral, it's for something he said. He says something in an eloquent way, in a way that shows off his intelligence, in a way that shows off his experience. The whole 9. Every single time. Nothing but class from that man. I'm not even going to lie to you, bro. I ain't never seen this man in no scandal. I think the craziest scandalous gossipy thing Cory Booker's ever been attached to is that he dated Rosario Dawson. Is that her name? For like a month or two, right? He dated Rosario Dawson for a month or two. Like, that's the craziest thing we have with Cory Booker, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the craziest thing we got with Cory Booker is that he dated an actress that everybody deems attractive for like 2 months. That's what I'm talking about when I say, why can't politicians do this? And more specifically, why can't just black people just show that we're intelligent and we deserve to be somewhere? We don't have to pander and assimilate or code switch to relate to the millennials or to seem cool. Like, you don't have to be cool to kick it. Obama just happened to be cool. Like, and I ain't gonna lie, that's the way he won the presidency. But it's like when he did it, he wasn't trying to be, he was just cool. Like, he's just a cool dude. But when you trying to do the memes and you trying to force a little jargon and trying to force a slang, I just ain't with it. With that being said, man, salute to Cory Booker for speaking for 20 hours, breaking the record, a Senate record for longest speech ever. I want to see some of this.
We have to redeem the dream. We
Shout
have to excite
fan, I
people
know y'all
again.
gonna copyright
He,
this, but
in the
I'm doing this
highest
for the
office of
love.
our land, wants to divide us against ourselves, wants to make us afraid, wants to make us fear so much that we're willing to violate people's fundamental rights. We're willing to go after the speech on college campuses. We're willing to go after law firms, go after the freedom of the press. Don't let him do that. Don't become like him. Be an American that says, I look to the future and I'm excited. Yes, things are tough right now. They're hard, they're scary, they're hurting, but we can overcome this. Our American history, if it's nothing else, American history, if it's nothing else, it is a perpetual testimony to the achievement of impossible things against impossible odds. We are a nation that is great not because of the people that are trying to whitewash our history. To remove great people, Native Americans, Black people, and women from our military websites. I don't want a Disneyfication of our history. I don't want to whitewash history. I don't want to homogenize history. Tell me the wretched truth about America, because that speaks to our greatness. And so what do I want to people to do? It starts with us, man, and you're doing it. I've seen courage of my colleagues. We're doing it, but we have to do more, and I'm sorry. I'm not going to be a politician that's going to say, we are going to do more for you. I'm going to be a politician. I'm going to be a leader that demands more from America. I yield for a question while retaining the floor.
Jeez Louise. That was amazing, bro. They said this was 20 hours into his speech. Like, the way to even come up with these words, bro. That man said the Disneyfication, the implication, the ramification of the
Fear.
bro. That's what I'm talking about, bro. That's what I'm talking about, bro. I'll rock with bro. I'll rock with bro. I don't know the I know some people have said some things when he was running for president of like Cory Booker has holes here, and there. But shoot, everything I done seen from bro, he hard, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I rock with bro. But this is all I'm saying, bro. It's like you work extremely hard, you study extremely hard. Any Black person who's on Capitol Hill and stuff like that, any Black person who's in the Senate, the House, that works their way up to like a federal type of like huge politician kind of level. Like, they've studied extremely hard. They usually have great grades. They go over the top. They're extremely intelligent, can speak to anybody. They have the gift of gab, socialize with anybody and stuff like that. Just all around kind of model citizens, no pun intended, to be a model for their citizens and the area they're representing. And there's a certain kind of dignifying and everything like that comes with it. And it's always been like that historically with all like the Black politicians on major levels. So it's like in the era of the president right now, who is kind of like destroyed all of the kind of expectations and what is traditionally looked at as professional versus what's real. And I'm not a politician. I'm real for the people. I tell it like it is, this and that. In that era of memes and tweeting constantly, you know, to see Black politicians, some Black politicians follow suit, it breaks my heart, and it broke my heart. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that like I looked up to Black politicians to be my leaders and to be my saving grace, but it's like for the sake of representation, because it's like we already have, it's kind of like, okay, we have the quote unquote clowns and entertainment spaces and everything like that, which I grew up and just found out that was just self-hatred and anti-Blackness and whitewashing this, and you know, in my mind and stuff like that, mind control. But like, we had the entertainment and all that and the fun stuff. When it come down to be serious, the people on Capitol Hill, the people at the Senate, the people in Congress, the people House of Representatives, like those are the people, right? The model citizens. And to look at those people, like try to act like the other folks for the sake of relatability and realness, and like, I'm like, dang, like, can Black people be taken seriously anywhere? And it's like, I shouldn't have to search for the acceptance of other people, right? I get it. I see it. You know, forget anybody, what they think and stuff like that. I still, you know what I'm saying? I still want a diversification of representation of Black people, because the reality is Black people aren't a monolith. All Black people aren't this and that. All Black people aren't this. All Black people aren't monotone. All Black people aren't. All Black people. There's different. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what I want, because I want the kids to see that, And because the kids are going to be what they see. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be on ESPN growing up because of Chris Berman and Stuart Scott and Stephen A. Smith as a kid and Terrence Moore. And so now I grew up, I became a sports journalist. It's just what it is. You know, some people might be like, when I got into journalism, dang, you want to be a sports journalist? Oh, we already got enough black men doing that. What do you want to cover? Oh, basketball, man. Why didn't you say something like hockey, baseball? Because that ain't what I grew up liking. Like, like can we just be real? Like, I mean, baseball I grew up liking. I grew up playing and stuff like that. But it's just like representation is so important because it determines like where a lot of kids want to go, bro. Kids are going to want to be and want to go to what they see. So if they see something like this, Cory Booker speaking with this type of vernacular 20 minutes into speech to fight for the American people and to prove his point. Shoot, a kid gonna look at that. That's cool. I want to be like that. I want to be like, you know what I'm saying, homeboy who just got accepted into Morehouse at the age of 13 after writing his first book at the age of 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be the kid that got accepted into 50 colleges. I want to be the kid that rewrote the scientific theory of the spaceship. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want kids to see that and want to be that, as opposed to being told, you know, you could be that too. When they're in high school, 16, 17, 18 years old, they already decided they want to be a streamer or a YouTuber or a professional athlete or a rapper or a producer, you know, something in the arts, something that's great. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just like a lot of kids might go the creative route and pursue the creative route just because that's what they saw. Exposure is so important. So that's why I'm like so heavy on this. And that's why I was so tough on Jasmine Crockett. And that's why I was so tough on a lot of Black Democratic candidates on the campaign trail getting, you know, hip hop performances and this and that, you know, where they had to bleep out all the words in the song just to kind of, hey, Black people, young Black kids, this is what's cool. This is what you can do. This is what you can be, you know. That ain't the only way to get our attention, bro. Like, we're intelligent beings, and I want the kids to know that, to understand that from an early age, that you can be intelligent. It's cool to be, you know, smart. It's cool to be into science. It's cool to be into STEM topics. And it's cool to be educated on American history and understanding, you know, how to progress and to move forward as a country by knowing your history. Like, that's cool to know that stuff. It's cool to pay attention in social studies. It's cool to pay attention in APUSH. It's cool to pay attention in AP government. It's cool to pay attention in all these classes. And it doesn't have to be something that like is frowned upon and like, anyways, let's get back to making these beats. It don't have to be that. That's all I'm saying. So thank you for my rant. This is for listening to my rant. I got like 2-3 people in here, which is crazy because it's 3 a.m. 2 a.m. Central Time, and it's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday morning. So I appreciate everybody that was tuning in and listened to that rant and stayed for the rant. I really appreciate it. My name is Rashad Milligan. As always, if you are new to the channel, this is the road to 5K subs. I hope you have a good morning, a good evening, a good afternoon, a good day, whenever you're watching this. And I hope it was a beautiful distraction from whatever you might be dealing with on the outside of this here internet. Until next time, please take care of.
That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but.
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
Good question.
Brandon, you want one quick question?
Hey, Rashad.